Alright, guys, how are you guys doing today? It's Chris Solo, and I've been thinking about this one thing, and I had this idea that um, sometimes it seems like, sometimes it feels like, we're just placed in this life and we're just a victim to reality, if you want to say it like that. We're thrown into this world from birth and we're supposed to live our whole lives learning from experiences that possibly we couldn't control. Things that we couldn't control, maybe we can control it to some certain extent. Sometimes it feels like there's this power out there that somehow just looks above us. You could say God or whatever. Looks above us and places us in these situations where we can't control. Maybe we did place ourselves in that situation. Whatever, right? Sometimes it feels like we're we're being we're being thrown things at our back, or out at our face, or at our brain, or our heart, that makes us feel terrible, scared of life, um, completely scared of life, and it sucks. It sucks that I'm using a Bible reference, but in the beginning of everything, God made the world perfect, and they made Adam and Eve super perfect. They survive on this land, they have everything they want. Until sin, pain, anger came along in the form of sin, pain, anger, envy, jealousy, in the form of a talking snake. And somebody falls for the sin, and now after that, um, I found this, and after that, it's just been a whole, it's just been thousands of years of an apocalypse, basically. And even God tried to take away and disassociate the world from all this pain by putting Noah in an ark and flooding the whole world, but that still didn't work. And that seems like the normal human experience. We're put in this place where we're forced to feel pain, to feel inferior, to feel subjected to external issues and conflicts, and it affects us in many ways. But yeah, it feels like we're just forced to put ours to experience these things that we personally just don't want to feel. That's why somebody like me, I tend to run away from the world, because sometimes it feels like the world hates me and nothing goes right for me. Have you ever felt that or thought that? Well, if you do, I resonate. I feel I feel your pain. I feel your frustration. I feel your sadness, your depression, your anxiety about life, and how scary it is. It is scary, I believe. Life is scary, but this video is honestly based on perspective, how you view the world. Um, Perspective is based on all of our senses: feel, touch, smell, hear. The wording I use different wording sometimes, but perspective, it's just the image, this conjunction of all of our senses placed into our brain, and then we just process that, and depending if it's good if it's good or not. If it's good, we'll go for it. If it's bad, it will go into our mind, and if you want to talk about your heart, it goes into your heart, and all these experiences will create these judgments about the world, and it will protect you to run away from this pain, and all the struggles. The perspective. So I'll give you an example. I used to have a job where it was very, very social, and for me, I'm different. I'm just a different person. Um, and these people were into things that I didn't like. I'm not. They were into drinking and smoking and doing all these things, and I was avid about that, because that's something I believe in. And they had this party that I wasn't invited to. How did I feel? And I'll be honest, I felt secluded. I feel like people didn't want me around. And it kind of made me shut down. And it kind of made me operate in a different way for, especially around people, for a couple months. I would say a couple months. And it affected me. It still affects me. But there's a possibility that I am and I was viewing it in a different way. Maybe how they viewed me and this party was, Chris isn't into that. He's avid on it. He makes jokes about it, but he's adamant on it, and it's just something he might just not be interested in that, so he's not invited. Maybe they weren't as close to me, and all the other people were close to them, so they didn't invite me. Now, for me, that makes me feel better. Because why? Because it wasn't about me, it was about them and how they viewed it. It wasn't about me. Well, I don't like drinking. I don't like doing drugs. I don't like smoking. I don't. So, perspective. I suggest trying to just make the correct assumptions and assessments on just what's going on through life. Because sometimes the way we view things is objectively incorrect. And I tell you to objectively reject all those negative assessments about you. But don't put that on anybody else. Don't blame anybody else. Okay? I don't want you to blame anybody else for you being you. Because you are the person who chooses to be you. And you do what you want. Alright? So this is Chris Solo signing off. And we are out. That was a longer video, but please tell me it recorded. Yes, it did. Alright, I love you guys. Bye.